Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but still being overlooked? What if the real advantage wasn't working harder, but understanding people deeper? In today's exploration, we'll uncover 9 psychological strategies grounded in timeless Stoic wisdom, principles that can elevate your influence and help you become the person others listen to, follow, and respect. Some of these tools are so subtle, you may already be using them, without realizing their full power. These strategies aren't about manipulation. They're about deep awareness of human nature, and how you can move through life with intention, clarity, and quiet strength. From meetings to friendships, from daily chats to moments of conflict, when used wisely, these principles can transform your interactions. Not with noise, but with presence. Each strategy builds on the next. Miss one, and you miss the synergy. So I urge you, stay until the end. It's not just another list, it's a map. A system. A path. And if you're someone who values personal growth, and I know you are, take a moment now to hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. These insights are rare, and they're meant for those ready to listen deeply. Let's begin. 1. Cultivate an air of mystery. Humans are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. Mystery activates curiosity, and curiosity demands attention. In a world where oversharing is a norm, restraint becomes power. Being mysterious doesn't mean cold or distant. It means being intentional about what you reveal and when. It's the art of leaving space. Of making others lean in. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." To be different in today's noisy world, calm, quiet, measured, is to be magnetic. Don't rush to explain yourself. Let your actions speak. Don't always fill silence. Let others wonder. Authenticity is key here, never confuse mystery with deception. It's not about crafting a persona. It's about holding back just enough to let people want to know more. When people become curious about you, they prioritize your voice. They wait for your words. They notice your presence. This is not a game, it's psychology. And it works. 2. Use the power of strategic silence. You've been in those moments, the fast-paced debate, the negotiation spiraling out of control, the conversation flooded with noise. The temptation? Speak louder. Jump in. Be heard. But Stoic wisdom offers a different weapon, silence. Silence isn't weakness, it's presence. When used deliberately, it's the loudest voice in the room. It disrupts rhythm. It holds space. It commands attention. While others rush to speak, you pause. While they react emotionally, you observe. That pause? It creates tension. Others fill the silence, often revealing more than they intended. Meanwhile, you gather information, you build calm, and when you finally speak, your words land with weight. Strategic silence shifts power. It signals self-control. It shows you're not desperate to be heard, because you've already earned the right to be listened to. Strategic silence is not just about holding your tongue, it's about elevating your presence. When you pause, you shift. You shift from reaction to reflection, from noise to intention. As Epictetus famously said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. And yet, true silence is not passive. It's disciplined observation. When you restrain your speech, you create space, not just to listen, but to lead. You guide conversations with subtle influence, shaping the rhythm without dominating the sound. But don't mistake silence for absence. Every moment you choose not to speak should still be filled, with focus, with presence, with meaning. Words, when finally spoken, become weighty. They land with clarity. And in a world where everyone rushes to speak first, the one who pauses often speaks last, and with the most impact. Yet like any tool, silence demands balance. Overuse it, and you risk being seen as cold or disengaged. But when paired with moments of sharp insight, it creates a contrast that commands respect. Now imagine what happens when you combine this strategy with the next one, an art form that has moved minds since the dawn of language. 3. Master persuasive storytelling. Have you ever spoken the truth, and still felt unheard? You had the facts, the logic, the data. But your message didn't land. Why? Because facts inform, but stories transform. Long before textbooks and TED Talks, there were campfires. And at every campfire, there was a storyteller. From ancient times to TikTok, storytelling has been the engine of persuasion. It's how we pass knowledge, shape values, and move people, not just to understand, but to act. As Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them. And storytelling shapes that view. It reframes reality. It guides perception. When you tell a story, you don't just deliver information, you deliver an experience. You pull people in. You make them feel. Instead of telling your team this project is hard, tell them about someone who overcame a mountain, and how they can, too. Instead of saying trust me, take them on a journey where trust is earned through trials. Suddenly, your message is no longer external, it becomes personal. But here's the caveat, authenticity is everything. A forced story rings hollow. A manipulative one backfires. But a true story, told with care, it resonates for years. When story meets sincerity, you become unforgettable. And when silence is followed by story, the contrast magnifies your influence. Now that you've mastered this emotional connection, it's time to tap into something even more primal, a force so deeply wired into human behavior that it unlocks doors most logic alone cannot. 4. Apply the principle of reciprocity. Think back to the last time someone did something kind for you, no strings attached. A colleague covered your task. A stranger held the elevator. A friend brought coffee without asking. What did you feel? Gratitude? Yes. But also, an urge to return the favor. That's reciprocity, a powerful psychological reflex, deeply ingrained in our biology. It's not manipulation. It's human nature. We're wired to respond to generosity with generosity. And when you initiate, when you give first, you create an open loop that others feel compelled to close. In Stoic terms, This is not just social strategy, it's moral alignment. When you give without demand, you reflect inner abundance. You project strength. You build trust. But again, authenticity matters. Don't give to get. Give to connect. Something small. Something thoughtful. Something genuine. A compliment. A resource. A moment of your attention. These acts, while easy to overlook, plant seeds of loyalty and respect. And over time, those seeds grow into alliances. 4. Apply the principle of reciprocity, continued. Reciprocity doesn't just change relationships, it shapes perception. It builds invisible bridges between people, quiet, powerful, unspoken. As Seneca observed, while we teach, we learn. That's reciprocity in motion, giving value, and in return, growing yourself. When you help someone, without expecting anything in return, you plant a seed. That seed may not bloom immediately, but it lingers. It lives in memory. It changes the way people think about you, feel about you, and respond to you. And one day, when you least expect it, it comes back. Maybe as a favor. Maybe as loyalty. Maybe as unexpected support. But here's the key, it only works when it's real. If your kindness has strings attached, people will feel it. If your generosity has an agenda, trust breaks. The force of reciprocity turns weak, or worse, becomes repellent. So offer sincerely. Whether it's your time, insight, or a simple gesture, let it come from abundance, not need. That's how authentic influence is built, not in grand displays, but in quiet consistency. And now, it's time to shift inward. 5. Prioritize yourself. Some people enter a room, and instantly, the energy shifts. They haven't spoken a word. But somehow, they're already respected. What gives them that presence? It's not wealth. Not status. Not appearance. It's self-regard. An inner belief that says, I know who I am, and I respect that. Marcus Aurelius said it plainly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. To influence others, you must first influence yourself. This isn't arrogance. It's not ego. It's the quiet confidence of someone who's done the inner work. When you prioritize yourself, your growth, your boundaries, your peace, you radiate something rare, stability. And others feel it. They sense you're not desperate for validation. You're not performing. You're anchored. That doesn't mean ignoring others. True self-prioritization includes empathy. It means honoring your time while respecting theirs. It means saying no without guilt, and yes with full intention. When you take care of your mind, your habits, your body, your values, you send a message. I matter. And over time, the world starts to reflect that back to you. 6. Genuinely listen to people. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, the rarest currency is attention. Most people don't really listen, they wait for their turn to speak. They nod, they smile, but their minds are miles away. And yet, deep down, every human being craves to be understood. This is where your quiet strength rises. When you give someone your undivided attention, not out of politeness, but with genuine interest, you create space. In that space, trust is born. Epictetus reminds us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This isn't just advice, it's a principle for connection. True listening means you're not just absorbing words, you're reading emotion, context, body language. You're showing the speaker, you matter. And when someone feels heard, they soften. They open. They lean in. You don't need to agree with them. But when they feel valued, they remember you. Not as a clever talker, but as a rare soul in a noisy world, one who actually listens. That's influence. That's Stoicism in motion. 6. Genuinely listen to people, continued. Listening isn't passive, it's intentional. It's a choice to slow down and enter another person's world, without distraction or agenda. When you listen with your whole presence, not just ears but eyes, heart, and attention, you become more than a participant. You become a trusted confidant. And trust? It's the cornerstone of lasting influence. You won't just be remembered, you'll be prioritized, respected, and sought after. Because those who truly listen are rare. And rarity, as we'll soon discover, is powerful. 7. Create a sense of scarcity. There's a magnetic pull to the things we can't have all the time. Think about it, the limited edition item, the concert that's sold out, the person who appears briefly but leaves a lasting impression. That's the psychology of scarcity, and it's not about playing hard to get. It's about valuing your time, setting boundaries, and choosing when and how to show up. In a crowded room full of eager voices, the one who speaks less but says more leaves the deepest imprint. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." This principle reminds us, you don't need to be constantly available to matter. In fact, by showing up strategically, your presence becomes an event, not a routine. But be mindful, disappearing completely isolates you. Oversharing dilutes your essence. The sweet spot? Be present where it counts, and then withdraw with grace. 8. Acquire mastery over emotions. Every social interaction is charged with emotion, some visible, some buried. The Stoics didn't seek to suppress emotion, they sought to understand it, channel it. That's your task too. When you remain calm during chaos, you become the anchor. When others spiral, you're steady. And that steadiness draws people in. Epictetus taught, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. To master emotions is to see clearly when others can't. It's not just about staying calm, it's about noticing what others miss, the unsaid, the discomfort, the hesitations in the room. Then, responding not from ego, but with intention. Those who can read a room, and respond with care, are trusted. And trust is influence. But remember, this is not a trick. It's a responsibility. Emotional awareness must never become manipulation. Use it to guide, not to control. 9. Be willing to walk away. True power lies in the ability to walk away, not in anger, but in clarity. It's not about being cold or aloof. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you won't cling to things, or people, that diminish it. When you're always available, always agreeable, you become expected. But when you're willing to leave when disrespected, you become respected. Seneca said, "It's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Let go of craving. Let go of pleasing. When people sense you're detached from outcome, they lean in. Because detachment signals strength, and strength commands attention. Ironically, those who are willing to walk away are often the ones others work hardest to keep close. Your ability to leave is your leverage. Use it wisely. Closing thoughts. If you apply these 9 Stoic strategies with integrity, not for show, but from the heart, you won't just gain influence. You'll gain respect. People will not only listen to you, they'll seek your presence. Because what you offer, calm, clarity, and confidence, is rare. But a word of caution. These tools aren't meant for deception. Stoicism is not about pretending. It's about being. Use these principles to align with your highest self, not to chase attention, but to embody wisdom. If this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. Drop us a comment, which strategy struck you the most. Subscribe for more timeless insights. And watch one of the videos appearing now, your mind will thank you.